The first thing that surprised me when I saw that John Wick 4 was going to be made was that it was an action movie, obviously. John Wick is an action movie, and it's an action movie, and it's 169 minutes long, so I was surprised that it was almost 3 hours long. Usually action movies are no more than 2 hours long at the longest, so I was like, what the heck is going on in this movie that it's 3 hours long? Once the action starts, it doesn't just come and go, it's action for 20 to 30 minutes. And when I was watching it, I honestly admired Keanu Reeves, who plays John Wick, because even though it's not real action, they have to have a plan of action, and they have to move with each other, and it's not light action. It's quite violent, it's quite big action, and it's not like they're holding somebody in place, they're moving all the time. And they're shooting guns, and they're bumping into each other, and it's amazing to see those action scenes go on for a couple of minutes. Keanu Reeves is now 58 years old. He must have had to take a lot of breaks because he was out of breath after just a few moments of movement. He pretty much did all the action in the movie, which is even more amazing because it was probably filmed over a few days each time he did an action scene. He must have had a lot of rehearsals because action can hurt you if you do it wrong, and there are things around him, so once he did an action scene, he must have gotten tired of resetting and filming. First of all, I applaud Keanu Reeves for pulling off such a difficult thing. I don't know if it was intentional, but the more I watch it, the more I'm reminded of the movie The Matrix. Lawrence Fishburne, who plays the Bowery King, is in the movie, and he's there as soon as it starts. John Wick is practicing hard, pounding his fist into a tree wrapped in rope over and over again. There's a similar scene in Metroidvania, but it's even more eerie because John Wick needs to prepare for his final duel. And there's a lot of hardship on the way to the arena. He's going to have to fight off a lot of enemies who want to kill him, so he needs to be prepared. That preparation is brought to him at the Bowery King, where he's given his gun and suit and waits. That place is inside the train station, where you sit on a bench and wait for the train. Unlike in The Matrix, he doesn't get on, but he gets off with Ensign Ian McShane at the New York Continental Hotel in Bowery King. My personal interpretation is that it also ties into the last scene, which I can't say for those of you who have seen the movie. But I'm hoping that it's going to be like Neo's experience in The Matrix. At the beginning of the movie, the action takes place in Japan. In order to get rid of John Wick, Marquis Vincent de Gramont Bill Skarsgård raises the stakes. John Wick goes into hiding as he is given full powers by the Supreme Council, which calls in Kane Doge, who knows John Wick well, to take him out. Kane is already retired, but he's using his daughter as a pawn to get rid of his friend John Wick. John Wick is staying with Koji Shimazu Hiroyuki Shinada at the Continental Hotel in Japan, where Kane and the Marquis men show up. This is where the action takes place for the first 30 minutes or so. It's set in Japan, so there's a lot of ninja-like stuff, like arrows and bows, and there's even a ninja sword and a ninja throwing shuriken. The Japan that we see in Hollywood is very attractive and sophisticated. But the Japan that they make in their own movies is a little bit crude, and I think that's the Western perception of Japan. Of course, it's very much Orientalistic, and that's the way it looks to me from an Asian perspective. One of the characters in the movie is Nobody Shamir Anderson, who appears from the beginning to the end, so he's an important character. He has a dog with him, which he says is for his own emotional stability, but it has a scary function. Because of the dog, John Wick and Nobody develop an unexpected friendship. Nobody is there to kill John Wick, but he waits for the ransom to keep rising. He's an interesting character because he wants to kill John Wick when it reaches the amount he wants, but until then, he's actually helping John Wick. I was also impressed with the action in Berlin, which takes place in an outdoor ballroom, because they're fighting and shooting at each other, and they're dancing and they don't seem to care. Which is kind of weird because the music is so loud, but it's kind of cool. There's a scene in the trailer where the action takes place with water cascading down, which is really cool. The car chase and staircase sequence in Paris at the end is also pretty amazing, especially the one at the Arc de Triomphe, which I know they rehearsed a lot. The scene where the car is missing all the doors on both sides and they're just spinning and shooting. It's like a very painstakingly done action scene. And even though the cars are going at a very high speed, they're still dodging and shooting, and it's very well paced. The scene where they're going up these very high stairs, and they're going up and up and up, and there's a character trying to kill John, and they're 2/3 of the way up. And he's rolling at the bottom. It's like a lot of hard work. It's an amazing movie to have 3 hours of action scenes like that, and it's a must-see for anyone who loves action.